Hi there, and welcome to your last lesson of Chapter 2, which is Lesson 2.4, Multiplying and Dividing Rational Numbers. Please put that at the top of your page. Okay, so here is just some review over multiplying and dividing rational numbers, which we have covered, I feel like, in great detail. So just please go over this if you're having troubles and review those rules. Okay, so the essential question is, why is the product of two negative rational numbers positive? And the key idea of this lesson is multiplying and dividing rational numbers. To multiply or divide rational numbers, use the same rules for signs as you used for integers. So here we have a negative rational number multiplied by a positive rational number, and we get a negative rational number, which is the same for integers. Here we have a negative rational number divided by a positive rational number, and we get a negative rational number. Again, same for integers. Okay, so I'm going to do this problem. And you know how I don't like mixed numbers, so I'm going to make it improper. So 5 times 5 is 25 plus 1 over 5, and then divided by 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 over 3. Okay, so this is 26 over 5 divided by 7 over 3. I'm going to rewrite that up here, but I also can't forget to bring down this negative, because that goes with this fraction. Okay, so negative 26 over 5, and then divided by 7 over 3. And let me erase all of this extra work just so we don't get confused. Okay. So I want to get rid of this down here. This is just ugly to me. It's too much going on. This whole thing just looks like a mess. So I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to multiply it by 7/3 by its reciprocal, which is 3/7. This is going to cross that out and make it equal to a 1. So we don't even have to worry about it anymore. But I also have to multiply the top by the reciprocal as well. And then, so this is all we have to worry about now. And I'm going to rewrite that over here. So negative 26 over 5 times 3 over 7. So, and then you just multiply right across. So negative 26 times 3 over 5 times 7. Okay, so negative 26 times 3 gives me negative 78. And then that's all over 35, 5 times 7. Okay, so it's a negative because we multiplied a negative number by a positive number, and that gave us a negative number. So I would be fine with you leaving it like this, but since the problem has it in a mixed number, it would be nice if we put it back in a mixed number. So 35 goes into 78, negative 78, negative 2 times, because it goes into 70 twice, with 8 left over, and then over the 35. So this is our answer. And now they want us to multiply a negative decimal by a positive decimal, so we should get a negative number at the end. But you guys know that I do not like these decimals. This is in the 10th place. This is in the 10th place. So I'm going to get rid of these decimals and just write negative 25 over 10 times 36 over 10. Multiplying the top, we get negative 25 times 36 over 10 times 10. And negative 25 times 36 equals negative 900. And 10 times 10 is 100. And then so that equals negative 9, which is exactly what we wanted. We wanted to end up with a negative, and that is what we got. Okay, so orders of operations here. Parentheses, exponents, multiply and divide, and add and subtract. those that go together in order. But these, so we have to do parentheses first. So I'm just going to look at these. So I have 4/5 times -7, but I'm going to put that over 1 just so I can see it better. And so 4 times -7 in the numerator and 5 times 1 in the denominator. That gives us -28/5. And now I am going to do the rest of the problem, which I had to bring down this. So -1/7 times that -28/5 that we just solved for. So that equals -1 times -28 and 7 times 5. So that gives me 28/35. And we can just leave it like this, and this is the correct answer. Okay, so looking at this, in here, we're going to get a negative number, right? Because a positive multiplied by a negative gives us a negative. But then, so if this is negative, we're having negative times negative, and that's going to give us a positive, which is what we got, 28/35, and that's positive. Okay, so here's a bunch of problems. I'm only going to do like 3 of them, and I hope you guys do the rest of them, because practice makes perfect. So please just do any problems that we have on these in these videos and we don't do them. It's really good for you guys to do them. And then ask us if, oh, I'm not getting this, and then ask us in class and we'll definitely go over them. Okay, so this is a negative right here just to show you. So -6/5 divided by -1/2. And just to be clear, we're dividing a negative by a negative, so we're going to get a positive. Okay, so the bottom, in the denominator, I do not like this here. I just want to, there's a denominator here, there's a denominator here, this is a denominator. There's just too much going on. So I want to get rid of this. So I'm going to multiply by -2/1. And that, because that's the reciprocal, and I'm going to, that crosses out, that equals 1. So yay, we don't even have to worry about that anymore. And then multiply the top by that same reciprocal. And so we get -6 times -2/5 times 1, and that gives us -6 times -2 is 12, and 5 times 1 is 5. And this is our answer, and it is positive, so we did something right along the way. And I'm just going to erase that so we can move on to another problem. Okay, so number 5 looks a little challenging, so let me do that. I do not like this mixed number. I'm going to make it an improper fraction. So 7 times 8 is 56 plus 7/8. That equals 63/8. Okay, so I'm just going to rewrite this times 63/8 times 3/2. Okay, so the top of this in the numerator is -2 times 63 times 3 all over 3 times 8 times 2. So that equals -126 times 3 and then 24 times 2. That equals -378 and then over 48. I'm going to erase all of this just because it's getting so cluttered. Okay, so this was our answer, but that is not simplified because I can see that 6 goes into, since these are 8s, there's going to be like an even number multiple that goes in there, and I know that 6 goes into both of these. So -378 divided by 6 is going to give me -63, and then 6 goes into 48 8 times, and this is our answer. And then, so I see, I'm like, oh my goodness, these are almost the same. This one, our answer is just negative here, and it's positive here. So there was a trick. If we would have seen it in the beginning, we wouldn't have had to do all of this work, but I will just go over it now. So if we would have noticed that this number right here and this number were reciprocals of each other, then we could have just seen that we could cross them out, and then we would only be left with that, and then so that would be our answer. So it would be negative 7 over 7/8, or negative 63 over 8. And that would have saved us a lot of time. Okay, so then I'm going to do number 6, and I'll leave you guys the rest of them. Okay, again, do not like decimals, so this is actually negative 72 over 10 multiplied by 1 over 10, and then multiplied by negative 100 over 1. So in the top, we get, in the numerator, we get negative 72 times 1 times negative 100 all over 10 times 10 times 1. And then I'm just going to finish this off over here. So we get negative times a negative is going to be a positive. So that is 7,200 all over 10 times 10 times 1, which is 100. And that equals 72. And that is our answer. Okay, and then here is your exit ticket. Please do these. I will be walking around in class to see if you did it and got to answer. Okay, and yay, this is the end of chapter 2. You guys did it. This kid over here is super excited for you. He's all like, yay! And I mean, he's got a huge gap in his teeth, so that just shows he's extra excited. And I don't know, I'll see you guys tomorrow. You did a fabulous job. I can't believe you're done with chapter 2 already.